Hello people, how are you? What's up? I hope you all are doing extremely amazing. Welcome back to another lecture of corporate and economic laws. So people, in our last lecture, we have finished with our sub-chapter of investment and loans. Okay? Very important sub-chapter people. In every attempt, question was asked for 7 marks. Okay? In today's lecture, we're going to cover the next sub-chapter, that is dividends. After that, we're going to complete 1.4, that is accounts and audit. These 3 sub-chapters are extremely important people. In every attempt, question was asked with respect to loans and investment. And number 2 is accounts and audit. Dividend till now, question was not asked. But there is a very high possibility that question from dividend sub-chapter will be asked in this attempt. Okay people? So our job is to complete the entire syllabus so that we can easily score an exemption. Alright people? And in today's lecture, we're going to solve the past year's question paper of 1.2, that is loans and investment subchapter. 1.3, question was not asked. 1.4, accounts and audit, questions were asked in the last attempt. We are going to solve all the questions. Okay, people? So before that, let's finish this subchapter in as thoroughly as possible. Okay, people? Chalo. Without wasting any time, let's get started with our 1.3, that is dividends. So people, in dividends subchapter, we're going to cover how many topics? 8 topics. 8 topics are extremely easy, very quick, very short. Okay people, this subchapter will be covered in just half an hour. Okay, chalo, let's get started. The first topic that we're going to cover is people, what is the meaning of dividend? Who can declare dividend? We're going to cover. After that, we're going to see from which all sources dividend amount can be paid. After that, when we are going to pay dividend, dividend is supposed to be deposited in a separate bank account. You're going to understand this. After that, what is the concept of interim dividend? When can this be paid? From which sources it can be paid? We will understand. After that, how can you pay dividend? Can we pay in cash? Can we pay in any other mode? We're going to understand in this topic. After that, once you declare dividend, if you don't pay, what are the consequences? We'll understand in this topic. Then people, what is this concept of dividend distribution policy? To which companies it is applicable? We'll understand this. After that, if shareholders are not claiming dividend, if company is paying dividend, but shareholders cannot be found in that situation, what is the remedy available to company? What are the steps company to take in order to cover such situation? We'll understand this in topic. Okay people, so 8 simple, sweet, quick topics we are going to cover in just half an hour. Okay, chalo, without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so people, section of dividend is section 123. Remember, section 123 is payment of dividend. Okay, now what is this section trying to tell us? The company can declare or pay dividend. Company can pay or declare dividend from 3 sources. Okay, 3 sources. Which are those 3 sources people? Number 1 is company's current year profits, company's last year's profits, or the combination of both. Very easy. Next, what are the important points? What all amount you cannot consider while paying dividend? Yes or no people? So when dividend is paid, it is paid out of profits, right? So what all type of items cannot be included while we are computing the profit? We'll understand this. Number 1 is people, unrealized gains, notional gains, revaluation of assets, or fair value changes must be excluded while calculating profit for dividends. Can you tell me why? Because these are not actual profits. These are profits on paper. Yes or no people? So these are profits on paper. So you cannot include them for the payment of dividend. Very simple. Next is dividend cannot be paid from any other sources except for free reserves. Can you pay dividend from securities premium? No. But can you pay dividend from general reserves? Answer is yes. Before declaring dividend, what all items you have to now pay off? Before declaring dividend, any accumulated losses or unprovided depreciation must be set off first. Once you are withdrawing amount from the general reserves, for the payment of dividend. First, what all items you have to set off, we'll understand. There are two items. Number one is people, all the accumulated losses the company has suffered till now, you have to first set off using that. After that, previous year's loss also you have to set off, and depreciation also you have to set off. I will give you an example. Supposing company's current year profit is 40 lakh rupees. Company's current year profit is 40 lakh rupees. Previous year's loss is 10 lakh rupees. That means you can only pay dividend for the amount of 30 lakh rupees. Yes or no? When you withdraw money from the general reserve, first you have to use it to set off previous year's losses and depreciation. Very easy. If a company has defaulted in repaying public deposits, it cannot declare dividend. If you have made default in the public deposit, in the last lecture we have understood 1.2 deposit, section 73 to 76A, if you have defaulted, you cannot pay dividend. Very easy, people. Now, exemption. Government companies are exempted from the restriction regarding deposit limits because it's a government company. Yes or no? A company may transfer part of its profits to reserves at its own discretion. It is not a mandatory rule that company has to transfer the dividend money to a general reserve. No, it is not a mandatory rule. It is just a suggestive rule. Okay, people? All right. Next is, people, declaration of dividend out of reserves. So, people, whenever a company has profits, it can declare dividend. No problem in that. But the company, if it has suffered losses, there is a restriction companies that imposes while you are paying dividend. If you don't have profits, how can you pay dividend? How can you pay dividend of your choice? How can you pay exorbitant dividend when you are suffering from losses? Yes or no, people? And that's the reason why, people, Companies Act has imposed certain restrictions beyond which you cannot pay as dividend. Now, what are those restrictions? Let's understand. Number one is, people, rate restriction. There are how many restrictions? There are 4 restrictions. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, number 1 restriction is rate restriction. Dividend rate must not exceed average of the past 3 years dividend rate. For example, if company's average 3 years dividend is 12 crores, 12%, 8%, 10%. You have to take the average, and the average is 10%. That means you cannot exceed the dividend rate of 10%. Yes or no, people? Yes. Okay. So, number 2 restriction is amount withdrawn from reserves must not exceed 10% of the sum of paid share capital and free reserves. What is the meaning of this? If you are withdrawing money from the free reserves, maximum, how much can you withdraw? Maximum of 10% of what? 10% of paid share capital and free reserves. Over here, securities premium is not included, people. Okay. Only paid up capital and free reserves are included. So, maximum, how much can you withdraw? 10%. Okay. Now that you have withdrawn the money from the free reserves, first you have to use it to set off current year's losses. First you have to use it to set off current year's losses. Okay. People, 4th restriction is very, very important, but is slightly tricky. When you withdraw the money from the free reserves, minimum certain amount should be maintained in the free reserves. Let's look at this rule. After withdrawal, the remaining reserves must be at least 15% of paid share capital. Over here, free reserves is not included. What is the meaning of this? Supposing there is 100 rupees lying in the free reserves. What is this rule trying to tell? You can withdraw the amount, okay, but you have to make sure 15% of 100 rupees is still there in the free reserves. Then only you can withdraw the excess money. Yes or no? Perfect. Now, people, let's look at the next topic, that is depositing of dividend amount. So, dividend amount must be deposited in a separate bank account within how many days? Within 5 days of declaration. Once the company has declared that we are going to pay 1 CR as dividend, but out of that 40 lakh will be set off. So 60 lakh rupees we are going to pay as dividend. Now the 60 lakh rupees we have to deposit in a separate bank account within how many days of declaration? Within 5 days of declaration. Okay. Now, government companies are not required to deposit the amount in a separate account. Government companies are not required to deposit this in a separate account. Okay. Now, next concept is interim dividend. Next concept is interim dividend. So, people, what is the meaning of interim dividend? People, there are two types of dividend, interim dividend and final dividend. So when a company pays dividend at the end of the financial year at the annual general meeting of the shareholders, company declares final dividend. Yes or no? But company has in between earned a huge amount of profit. So company doesn't want to wait till the AGM. So company wants to declare the interim dividend before the AGM. If a company is declaring dividend during the financial year, it is called as interim dividend. Okay, people. In the AGM, if the company still wants to declare dividend, they can declare. But if the company has earned a sudden huge profit, they want to pay to the shareholders during the financial year, company can pay as interim dividend. Okay. Now, people, declaration by board of directors. So, interim dividend can be declared during the financial year, number one, after the financial year, but before the AGM. Yes or no? If the company is declaring dividend at the AGM, then it will be called as a final dividend. Yes or no? For example, company can pay dividend between 1st April 25 to 31st March 26. That is called as interim dividend. But the company can also pay dividend after financial year. After financial year, but they have to make sure that they are paying dividend before the annual general meeting. So AGM, if it is held on 20th August, they can declare dividend anytime before the AGM. So company can pay dividend in two dates. Number one, during the financial year or after the financial year, but before the AGM. Yes or no, people? Chalo. Next is, what are the sources of interim dividend? Number one is, people, surplus in the profit and loss account. Retained earnings, surplus in the profit and loss account. Number two is current year's profit, and number three is profit up to the latest completed quarter. What is the meaning of this, people? So people, financial year begins from 1st April 25 and ends on 31st March 26. So there are quarters, means, people, we have to divide the financial year into 4 parts. So first quarter of 3 months ends on 30th June. Second quarter ends on 30th September. Third quarter ends on 31st December, and fourth quarter ends on 31st March 26. Now, if the company is in this stage, like January, company is in January, so company can pay interim dividend out of the past completed quarter. So, company can pay dividend from the profit from 1st April 25 till 31st December. They can pay as dividend. Yes or no, people? So, sources of interim dividend. There are 3 sources. Number 1 is surplus in the profit and loss account. Number 2 is current year's profit. And number 3 is profit up till the last completed quarter. Yes or no? Perfect. If the company has made a loss till the last quarter, company cannot exceed the average rate of dividend of how many years? 3 years average rate company cannot exceed. Very easy. Now, other requirements. Interim dividend must be deposited in a separate bank account within how many days? Within 5 days, company has to deposit interim dividend in the separate bank account. We already know this. It must be ratified in the AGM. What is the meaning of ratification? So, whenever a company declares interim dividend, it should be in the end. It should be all the decisions of the BOD with respect to interim dividend must be approved at the annual general meeting. It should be ratified. Ratified means making something valid. Okay, perfect. Now next is payment of dividend. How can you pay dividend? So the process is same for interim and final. This is very, very important. Once you dividend declare at the AGM, dividend cannot be withdrawn. Dividend cannot be withdrawn. It's a serious offense. If you declare and then you revoke, it's a serious offense. The reason is, when you declare dividend, everyone will be interested in a company, everyone will start to buy shares in a company, and then when you withdraw, that means you are a fraudster. Yes or no, people? Perfect. Now, what are the modes of payment of dividend? Number one is people check. Number two is warrant. Number three is electronic mode. So, three ways of making payment of dividend. Number one is check. Number two is warrant. Number three is electronic mode. Yes or no, people? Perfect. Now, who can receive dividend? The registered shareholder can receive dividend. Number two, their nominee can receive dividend. And then their banker can also receive as dividend. If I want to receive dividend, I have to deposit all my shares with a bank, asking them that, buddy, you accept dividend from my side. You collect dividend from my side. Remember, people, section 187, investments need not to be held in your own name. 4 exceptions we understood. Right, people? So you can also do that. And next is bonus shares are different from payment of dividend. Can you tell me why, people? The reason is, when you pay bonus shares, you are just capitalizing the profits. Are shareholders receiving any money? No. But when you pay dividend, people are receiving money. So bonus shares are different from payment of dividend. Okay, perfect. Now, there is one more topic remaining, people. That is yes, failure to pay as dividend. People, definitely in your exam, question will be asked with respect to this. What are the consequences the company fails to pay as dividend? Let's understand this. If a company doesn't pay declared dividend within 30 days, it's an serious offense. Number one, who are punishable? Directors are punishable. They can be jailed up to 2 years and fine 1,000 per day till the default continues. And what is the company's liability? Company must pay 18% simple interest per year for the delay period. Okay. When will declaration of dividend? After that, if you revoke, it will still be not called as an offense. What are those 5 exceptions where you have declared dividend but you have not paid? Still, nobody will tell you anything. Which are those 5 crazy cases? Number one is payment has been stopped by law, which means what? Pakistan shareholder, Indian government has strictly informed the Indian company that you have to stop every single payment to all the enemy countries. Yes or no? In that case, company cannot do anything, people. Next is shareholders payment directions couldn't be followed. Shareholders is requesting the company to give me hard cash as dividend at my home. Company is saying that your request is very, very unreasonable. We cannot proceed forward with your request. In that case, it is completely allowed even if you don't pay as dividend. Number 3 is people dispute about who should get dividend. So shareholders are holding shares jointly. Now they are fighting among themselves that I should receive dividend. In that case, till the dispute is resolved, company can choose not to pay as dividend. Okay. Number 4 is people dividend adjusted against dues of the company. What is the meaning of this? Supposing one share value is 100 rupees, in that dividend is rupees 10. Face value of share we all know 100 rupees. Shareholders have only paid 90 rupees. They have not paid remaining 10 rupees. So in that case, company can choose not to pay them as dividend to adjust this value. The last is people. Chalo people. Let's start. Let's resume. So people, the problem was one more my co-faculty required my connector. So I gave it to her. And the one connector that she gave me, it was not working in my iPad. So now it is completely resolved. Okay people, let's continue. So where were we people? We were discussing which topic? Yes. No offense. Okay. So a company, if it declares dividend, it is completely fine if it does not pay dividend only in the 5 exceptional cases. Which are those 5 exceptional cases, people? Number 1 is payment was stopped by law. Number 2, shareholders payment directions could not be followed. And number 3 is dispute about who should actually receive dividend. And number 4 is dividend adjusted against unpaid dues to company. And the last is delay not due to company's fault. Example is postal issue or bank has taken a strike. In that cases, people, company is helpless. Company cannot do anything beyond its powers. Right, people? So in these 5 cases, it is completely fine even if the company does not pay you as dividend. People, this question, definitely this question will be asked in your CMA final law exam. Okay. Chalo. After that, people, next comes dividend distribution policy. Sir, what is dividend distribution policy? People, if tomorrow I want to invest in Reliance, if I want to purchase the shares of Reliance, people, now if I want to expect dividend from Reliance, how would I expect dividend? Yes or no? Then over there, people, Reliance in its website publishes its dividend distribution policy, where Reliance clearly informs you. Thank you, Bhaiya. Yes, people. So dividend distribution policy is a policy where a company publishes on its website, where they clearly mention to all the shareholders as to what are the factors that will affect if we are supposed to pay you dividend or not. What all parameters do we consider before we pay dividend? Every single thing with respect to dividend, so that a shareholder will know that yes, I am an investor of Reliance. I know when can I expect dividend. Okay, people. So this is to improve the transparency between a shareholder and the listed company. Now let's understand to which listed companies dividend distribution policy is mandatory. A company's plan that explains how much profit will be shared as dividend and how much will be kept for future growth. People, if you look at Apple, big companies, they don't pay you as dividend. Why? Because they reinvest the money back into the company, and then after that they just increase the value of the shareholders. Okay, people. So company can choose not to pay as dividend. Company can also choose to pay as dividend. For example, people, during COVID, when Reliance was suffering huge losses, they still decided to pay dividend. Why? So that to retain the confidence of the shareholder. Okay. Now, to which companies dividend distribution policy is applicable? It must be made by top 1000 listed companies as per SEBI regulation. Okay. What is the purpose? Keeps dividend decisions clear and consistent, builds trust with the investors. Okay. What are the factors that will be considered before payment of dividend? Company's profits and cash flow, company's future projects and expansion plans, then is business conditions and legal rules, and past dividend trend. So all these factors will be considered before payment of dividend. Now, approval and disclosure. So dividend will be approved by the BOD, shown on company's website and the annual report. You check any top 1000 listed companies dividend distribution policy, you will clearly know what is this dividend distribution policy all about. They beautifully explain you, people. If you are a shareholder of the top 1000 listed company, you will clearly know that when can I expect dividend, when will Reliance pay dividend, how much Reliance can pay as dividend, what factors will determine whether I will receive dividend or not. Every single thing should be mentioned so that to retain the confidence of the shareholders. Yes or no, people? And the last is objective is to balance the shareholders' returns and company's long-term growth. Okay, people. If I want dividend from a company, and that top 1000 listed company has never paid dividend till now, then does it make sense for me to invest in the company? No. So before I invest in the company, I will just read the company's dividend distribution policy. Yes or no, people? Perfect. Next is, people, last topic, that is unpaid or unclaimed dividend treatment and transfer to IEPF. So, people, company is paying dividend, but shareholders are not found. In that case, what can the company do? So company can choose not to pay as dividend, but company cannot use this money for themselves. Okay. Company has to transfer this amount to a system. We're going to understand the system now. If any dividend remains unpaid or unclaimed for 7 years, it must be transferred to Investor Education Protection Fund. So people, normally I will tell you what actually happens in detail. If company has paid dividend for 30 days, no one has claimed that I am the shareholder of this company, I am entitled to dividend. So company, it transfers this money to unclaimed dividend account. Company transfers to an account called as unpaid dividend account. Now people, from this account, if for 7 years still no one has claimed dividend, post 7 years, this amount will be transferred to Investor Education Protection Fund. It's a government fund for the investors' purpose. We're going to understand. If any dividend remains unpaid or unclaimed for 7 years, it must be transferred to the Investor Education Protection Fund. Okay. Yes. So normally, which all items are credited to Investor Education Protection Fund? Now that we have understood, if the shareholder is not claiming dividend, company has to transfer this money after 7 years to Investor Education Protection Fund. Yes or no? Now this fund receives money from which all different sources apart from unclaimed dividend? We are going to understand. Number 1 is unpaid dividend. Number 2 is application money due for refund. Number 3 is matured deposits and debentures, interest on the above items, sale proceeds of fractional shares, redemption amount of unpaid preference shares, penalties under section 38, grants, donation and income earned on IEPF's investment. So people, IEPF fund has got hundreds and 200 crores of fund. Okay. So all this money comes from different sources. These are the sources. Yes or no, people? Perfect. Now let's understand what is the purpose and use of IPF fund. Now the IPF fund has got 100-200 crores. Now this IPF fund will be used for which all purpose? Let's understand. Number 1 is refund of unclaimed dividend deposits, debentures to rightful owners. We understood. Number 2 is promoting investor education and awareness. Number 3 is distributing disgorged amount to affected investors. What is the meaning of this? Those investors who have suffered losses. For example, DHFL, Diwan Housing Finance Limited. Many investors suffered losses. To compensate them, IPF fund can be used. Then reimbursing legal costs in case of class action suit. If all the shareholders, let's take an example of Satyam computer scam. Okay. So lot of investors have suffered losses. For that purpose, IPF fund will be used. Number 2, to complete the legal proceedings. Obviously, investors have incurred a lot of legal expenses, class action suit. For that purpose also, to reimburse the expenses, IPF fund can be used. Any other purpose with respect to investor protection, to protect the investor, IPF fund amount can be used. Very simple, people. Now, people, this is very important. In exam, definitely question will be asked. What is the procedure to transfer money to Investor Education Protection Fund? Let's understand. So there are 5 steps. Unpaid for 7 years, transfer to IPF within how many days? Within 30 days, you have to transfer to IPF fund. Okay. You have to file which form? Form IPF 1 for unpaid amounts and form IPF for rated shares. Which means what? Dividend amount, whatever unpaid amount. For that purpose, you will file IPF 1. For now you have filed form IPF for the dividend amount. Now this dividend amount is concerned with the shares, right? So the shares will also be transferred to IPF fund. So to file return for the shares, IPF 4 will be filed, and then keeping the shareholders records for 8 years. Company has to keep the records of shareholders for 8 years. IPF authority can inspect these records. And last is shareholders and legal heirs can claim the dividend using which form? IPF 5 on MCA portal. So IPF 1 is for filing return of unpaid amount. IPF 4 is for shares. Then IPF 5 is to claim back the dividend or shares. Very easy, people. this question will definitely be asked in your exam. Okay. Now last is claim by shareholders. We know this prescribed form is IPF 5. Administration managed by IPF authority, chairman plus maximum 7 members and a CEO, constituted by the central government, handles meetings, admin and utilization of fund. Okay, I will tell you which is very important, people. This is extremely important. Okay, purpose is also extremely important. So right now we are done with the dividend chapter. Okay, people. Now I will tell you the calculation of how the dividend amount will be calculated. What is the maximum amount that can be withdrawn from the general reserve? Let's understand. Okay. So people, there's a company called as Bright Star Limited. There's a company called as Bright Star Electronics Limited. Okay. Now I will tell you this summary, brief background I will tell you. Number 1, its paid up share cap is 10 crores. Number 2, its free reserves is 5 crores. Next, current year it has suffered a loss of 0.4 crores. Next is past dividends is 12%, 10%, 8%. So this is the background. Okay, this is the background. Now we need to find out what is the maximum rate of dividend the company can pay. Company has suffered a loss in the current financial year. That means what is the rate average of the 3 preceding financial year. Now we know the average. Number 1 is average of past 3 years is, people, 12 plus 10 plus 8. 12 plus 10 plus 8 upon 3. How much is this, people? It is 10%. So maximum dividend a company can pay is 10% of what? 10% of paid up share capital. What is the paid up share capital, people? Paid up share capital is 10 CR. So company can pay 10% of 10 CR, that is 1 CR company can maximum pay as dividend. Okay. Now number 2, people, let's understand. Next is we need to find out what is the maximum amount that can be withdrawn from the free reserves. Okay. We know the limit, we know maximum this much amount can be paid. But actually let's understand this amount needs to be withdrawn somewhere, right? Now let's understand maximum. What is the amount that we can withdraw from the general reserve? So maximum withdrawal allowed from reserves, that is 10% of paid up share capital plus free reserves. Will securities premium come into the picture, people? No. So 10% of 15 CR, and that is 1.5 CR company can maximum withdraw from general reserve. Yes or no? Okay. Now we know that there is a loss of 0.4 CR. There is a loss of 0.4 CR. So company has to now utilize it for loss set off. Yes or no, people? So next is utilization of withdrawn amount. So number one is people, withdrawn amount. We use set of current year loss, that is 0.4 CR. Then we have to pay as dividend. Maximum, how much can we pay? We can pay 1 CR. So maximum, how much do we actually need? It is 1.4 CR. So we can withdraw maximum 1.5 CR. But actually, how much do we need? 1.4 CR. Yes or no? And last, let's check this. Last is people, position of free reserves post withdrawal. Post withdrawal. So this is pre-withdrawal and this is post-withdrawal. So pre-withdrawal is 5 CR. Yes or no, people? In the general reserve, before we withdraw, it was 5 CR. What is the limit trying to tell us? Post-withdrawal, 15% of paid up capital should be there in the free reserves. So post-withdrawal, 15% of paid up capital. What is the paid up capital? Paid up capital is 10 CR. That is 1.5 CR should be there in the general reserve after we withdraw. That means how much can you withdraw now? 3.5 CR you can withdraw freely. But do we need that much amount? No. How much do we need? We require only 1.4 CR. Yes or no? How much dividend can we pay? 1 CR dividend can we pay? Yes or no? And how much can we withdraw? 1.5 CR we can withdraw. But how much do we actually need to withdraw? 1 CR dividend and to set off past year's losses. Yes or no? So 1.4 CR we actually require. Yes or no? So your answer is, people, if a question is asked in the exam, how much money can the company maximum withdraw? It is 1.5 CR, but actually how much money company requires? It is 1.4 CR. Now how did you arrive at the value of 1.4 CR? We required dividend is 1 CR, that is 10% of paid up capital. 10% why? Average. Okay, 1 CR. After that, we need to set off the past year's losses. How much is the past year's losses? 0.4 CR. So 1 CR plus 0.4 CR, 1.4 CR we actually want to withdraw. So this should be your answer, people. Yes or no, people? Perfect. Perfect. Chalo. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to look at the expected questions that will be asked in your exam. Expected question that will be asked in your exam. Yes. So how many questions are there? 1, 2, 3 questions. Okay. 3 questions, simple. XYZ Limited declared a dividend of rupees 20 per share for the financial year 22-23. However, dividends for the following shareholders remained unpaid. Mr. A is holding 500 shares whose dividend warrant was written by the bank. What is the reason? Because of incorrect account number. Was it company's fault? No. The company made no further attempts to contact him. People, it was not the fault of the company, it was the fault of the shareholder. You have to write this in your answer. So over here, company's obligation, company is not at fault over here. Now let's look at the second case. Mr. B holding 1000 shares died interstate. Her legal heirs are disputing the succession in the court. That means what? There's a dispute as to who is going to receive dividend. In that case, company can choose not to pay as dividend. People, you have to write this answer as clearly as possible. Again, company is not obligated in this case. So people, in the first question, company made no further attempt to contact him. You have to mention your answer that if company could have contacted, company is liable if it did not contacted. Yes or no? If company couldn't have contacted the person at all, in that case, company is justified not to contact the person. Very easy, people. Next question. People, you have to write this, okay? Facts, the case, Mr. A's dividend returned due to wrong bank address. Then Mrs. B died, heirs disputing legal ownership. People, you have to write the facts as concise as possible. You don't have to write in paragraphs, okay? Legal question involved, you have to write this. You have to write the provisions also. And then analysis, you have to write. And conclusion, you have to write. Okay. ABC Limited declared dividend out of general reserve despite incurring losses in 22-23. A shareholder group alleges that this is illegal. People, is this illegal? No. Declaration of dividend from general reserve is completely valid if rule 3 of the companies has been followed. Okay. If these rules are not followed, it is illegal. We know this. Now, conditions is, people, maximum amount, how much can we declare as dividend? 10% rate. How much can we withdraw maximum? 10% of paid share capital and free reserves. We know this. The withdrawn amount must be set off losses for the current year. After withdrawal, it should not fall below 15% of paid up capital. The dividend rate shall not exceed average 3 years financial rate. If all these rules have been followed, company can pay dividend in despite of incurring losses. Yes or no, people? So this is how you have to answer the question. Okay, people? Now, people, in the last previous years, questions have not been asked with respect to dividend. But there is a very quite possibility that such type of question will be definitely asked in your exam. Right, people? Perfect. Now. Sir, now what? We are done with the dividend chapter. People, wait. This is done. This is done. This is done. This is done. Every single thing is done. So we can say that now we are thorough with the dividend sub-chapter. People, I have also given you the mind maps for the dividend. See. Oh my God. Yes. People, these are the mind maps, okay? You just have to go through this before exams, and I'm 100% sure that you will not forget any rule, any provision, any limit. Okay? So this is my mind map, people. Just go through this and you will be sorted. That's it, people. Now what, sir? People, now, we're going to solve the past year's questions of our last chapter is loans and investment. Let's look at it. Loans and investment. Yes. So, people, is there any provision for prohibition on acceptance of deposit from public exist in Companies Act 2013? If so, analyze the provision. You have to mention the entire deposit provision. Yes or no, people? The prohibition of acceptance of deposit. We have already covered this. I'll show you. Yes, people. So, you have to write these provisions. You have to first write the meaning of the deposit. Then you have to write the prohibition on acceptance of deposits from the public. If you write all this, people, that's it. You will be done with 7 marks. People, just by watching this lecture, 7 marks will be easily given to you. Okay? Next. C. Should investment of a limited company be held in its name only? State the requirements of the Companies Act in this regard. You have to state section 187. where companies are supposed to hold investments, whether it is plant, property, any shares in its own name. But what are the exceptions to this? You have to simply write this, people. That's it. Yes or no? Next question. People, look at it. Again, the same question was asked. Examine the investment made or held by a company must be in its own name. Elucidate exemptions, if any, enshrined in the Companies Act, section 127. See, again the same question. Hello people, I know you might be facing some audio issues, so I have re-recorded this part again. So people, we were discussing past year's question paper and then we came across a question from the sub-chapter of 1.2, that is loans and investment. Okay. So people, this is the question. Let's read this question. The following is the extract from the balance sheet of XYZ Limited. So this is a balance sheet of the company called as XYZ Limited as on 31st March 24. People, always remember, first your focus should not go towards the first part of the question. Always read the last part. Yes or no? Sir, why do you want to read the last part? People, because a lot of irrelevant details are given in the first part. So I don't want you people to waste your time in unnecessary matters. Okay, people? So let's first read the last part and then we'll read the first part. What is the question? ABC Limited. We know that was the balance sheet of which company? XYZ Limited. ABC Limited has approached XYZ Limited for a grant of secured loan of 40 lakh rupees for a tenure of 40 months. So we know loan is 40 lakh. Tenure is 40 months. Okay. Can this loan be granted by the BOD at the interest rate of 6.5%? Interest rate 6.5%. Is it allowed or not? Will your answer be different if the loan is for 45 lakhs? So now we know which section applies. People, tell me. Section 186 applies over here. Okay. So now let's read the first part. The following is the extract of the balance sheet of XYZ Limited. Authorized capital. Is it important, people? It's not important. Paid up capital. Is it important? Yes. To calculate the limit, it is important. Profit and loss account balance, yes, it is important. Share premium account, yes, it is important. Machinery revaluation reserve, is it important? No, it is not important. Secured loan taken, that means what? XYZ has already taken a loan. Is it important, people? No, I will tell you why. Also not important. So when you are granting loan, whatever loans you have given, that loan is counted in the limits, not what you have already taken. Yes, people. Chalo. Now we know the yield of government security. For 1 year it is 6.5%. For 2 years it is 6.7%. For 3 years it is 6.9%. Now people, you tell me which tenure is important for us. If the loan is given for a tenure of 40 months, then we have to take which tenure, people? The tenure will be 3 years, which means 36 months. Yes or no, people? So these are all irrelevant details. 1 year, 2 years are irrelevant. Okay. So people, now we have to find out, can a loan of 40 lakh rupees can be given? First of all, that is a question. We'll talk about the interest rate afterwards. So what is the limit, people? We know the limit 60% of paid up capital, free reserves and then securities premium, or 100% of free reserves and securities premium, whichever is higher. So people, 60% of paid up capital is how much, people? 60% of paid up capital, it is 43.2 lakhs. And 100% of free reserves plus securities premium is how much? 32 lakhs, whichever is higher. That means the limit is 43.2 lakhs is the limit. Yes or no, people? So a company can grant a loan for a maximum of 43.2 lakhs. Okay. About that, we require special resolution. That is, I hope you know that, people. Okay. So if board wants to give a loan, maximum, how much loan can it give? 43.2 lakhs. Okay. Now is the next question. Can the interest rate be offered at 6.5%? Can XYZ Limited give a loan to ABC Limited at an interest rate of 6.5%? People, you already know the government yield security interest rate carries 6.9%. So can XYZ Limited grant a loan at a rate less than the government securities? The answer is no. So over here, this answer is no. So 6.9% should be the minimum. Okay. So this answer is over. Now, the next question. Will your answer be different if the loan is for 45 lakhs? People, we know the limit is 43.2 lakhs. So can the loan be given at an amount of 45 lakhs? The answer is no. So this should be an answer, people. This should be an answer. Okay, sir. एक part ना add करना बस. हाँ. हो गया. Yes. नहीं. So people, we are done with that part. So thank you so much for watching, people. Let me know if you have got any doubt. Please drop all your doubts in the YouTube comment section. Okay, people? Chalo. Thank you so much for watching. Eat well, sleep well, study well. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.